Hello everyone, I am Rohit Vats and today we are with Arjun Vijay, who is the founder of Geotus. And Geotus deals in cryptocurrency, how to invest, where to invest, how to make money. So I will start with a very basic question. Do you think it's possible to make a lot of money through cryptocurrency in India?
डेफिनेटली पॉसिबल क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं। तो इसमें डाउट नहीं है, काफ़ी लोग कर सकते हैं। सी इसमें ज़्यादा रिस्क है, वो समझना है। रिस्की इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के थ्रू यू कैन डेफिनेटली बिकम रिच इन क्रिप्टो।
And when you talk about risky investments, anyway, we will come back to that about the details of it. So basically, please make us understand what exactly is cryptocurrency, because there is a lot of confusion regarding cryptocurrency. Is it legal? Is it illegal? Which countries have already allowed it? Things like that. So what exactly is cryptocurrency?
Okay, fundamentally, cryptocurrency is in the middle of evolution of two important things. One is money, right? Money, if you see, we started with barter system, then we had like commodity based currencies. There are seashells, then silver coin, then gold coin, copper coins, right? Then in the last 200 years, we have moved to government controlled money, right? The paper notes. And the last 20 years, we have electronic versions of money, credit cards, debit cards. Right today, 90% of the money is already in the digital form only. It's virtual. Only less than 10% of the money is printed in form of banknotes. Okay, so when government is creating 1 lakh crore and giving it to an NHAI, it's just transferring it from one account to another. In the database, few digits are moved. The actual money is not transferred in physical cash or in suitcases. We cannot do that, right? So this is one way like money has been evolving. But the problem with digital money is it needs intermediary. If you take a 100 rupee note, go to a shop, buy a biscuit packet, you can give that note and he accepts it and we are done with it. But in a digital money, you need a Google Pay, you need a Phone Pay, Visa, MasterCard, HDFC, one person or the other. Why do you need it? Because if I create a copy of 100 rupee note, right, it's counterfeit note and people are able to find it. ठीक है कि ये गलत नोट है ऐसा करके. लेकिन in digital, if you have a MP3 file, if I make 100 copies of it, it doesn't cost me anything to copy my songs multiple times. I myself will not know which is original, which is duplicate, because each of them
Right.
will be exactly digit by digit. So you need an intermediary in the middle to say which is correct and which is wrong, right? So when I transfer 100 rupees to you, 100 rupees will be destroyed in my side and will be created in your side. Okay, this is about the problem with the current version of digital money. Okay, so just park
Is
that
it
idea.
is it exactly a problem, or it's benefit that
See,
we know that exactly everything about the transaction?
it's a benefit, but see, look at what has happened to email, right? Email allows you to communicate to anyone in United States or America. You send something now, the next 2 seconds he receives it and he works on it and he shares it back to you. Because of
Correct.
email, how much the world has grown fast. Otherwise, what will happen? You will do a research, you will be putting it in a post, it goes to a local post office, then to the head post office, then to the New York post office, from there Washington. Right, there are so many loops, so much latency, and then only he can start working on that project. Then he will have some update, he will send it to you. The whole project will take years to complete. Now it can get completed in a matter of week because it's very easy to communicate back and forth without any middleman, right? Peer to peer communication. If you can do the same thing with money, like a lot of amazing things can be possible. Right now, if you're able to send an email to America in single second, why can't we send money to America in a single second? Why does it take 1 day or 2 day for money to get transferred? End of the day, they are also not shipping the money in big containers, they are moving it just in the form of digital data only is being moved. But
Right.
because of inefficiencies, see, even look at checks, right? The outstation check, in same city check, all those. And if we go to SBI bank in Lucknow, they say you have to go to your home branch. What is this concept of home branch? For a digital native, there is no concept of home branch. Your money you are able to access from anywhere if you have internet access. I should be doing the same thing with any branch also. So things are changing, right? The digital Indian asks for all these things, right? I mean, if internet these things don't exist, in physical also it should not exist, right? So there are some definitely some advantages for this version of money. We will talk more about it. This is one part, right? Also now parallelly, let's look at the evolution of internet. Internet pehle like 1990s to 2005 kaisa tha? It was almost like TV and newspaper. Some few people were creating content, right? And we were all consuming it. You go to a newspaper and you read it. That's how internet was working. In 2005 onwards, what has happened is users are creating content. This last 10-15 years is the era of user generated content.
True.
Millions and billions of terabytes of data is being created. Facebook, Twitter, all the memes. I mean, look at the innovation that has happened, right? The kind of videos that people like Aam Aadmi creates, like look at TikTok, like everything is created almost by Aam Aadmi, and there's so much entertainment, right? It's not just few publishing houses controlling all the content, but when everyone is creating, there's so much advantage. But the problem in Web 2.0, so the first era was called Web 1.0, this is called Web 2.0. In Web 2.0, there are gatekeepers. जो भी डेटा जाता है आता है वो कुछ लोग के बीच में होते हैं, like Google, Facebook, they have access to all your data. If I am sharing my photo with Rohit, why should Facebook have access to that photo? And he's
Right.
showing me ads based on that photo, right? So there should be no reason, right? Middleman is always creating a problem, right? You look at Visa or Mastercard in payments, for example, every time I swipe a card, 1 to 1.5% of the commission they take. They are also like email, they are moving data from one place to another. They need not take that much commission, right? Google Pay you're able to do free, but credit card or debit card you don't pay the money, but the merchant pays for it. So wherever there is middleman, the problem is they will have access to all your data. There is slowness, there's latency. ठीक है, तुरंत मिल नहीं जाता है. Like even if I pay with credit card to you 10,000 rupees, you will not get it today. You will get it after 2 days. T+1, T+2 का बोलते हैं चीज को. And third thing is the most important part, the data part, right? And the cost part, right? They charge you some money. If we can do away with all these people, directly हम transact कर सकते हैं, काफी value unlock हो जाता है. Like look at what open source has done, right? Before, if you want to access some data, you have to go to a library, right? Or buy this Encarta Encyclopedia CD for 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. Now with Wikipedia, सबको data का access मिल जाता है,
Open
right?
source.
Because of that, we have removed the barriers. Even the poorest of the poorest, if you have access to internet, he can do magic, right? Look at Android, right? If you buy a Microsoft Windows Professional, it costs you 20,000 rupees per laptop just for the operating system without the
Right.
hardware. How many people can spend that much for a computer? You buy a computer for 30,000 and another operating system for 20,000. We cannot do that. Small business owners, what they will do? What has Linux done? Linux has made the operating system free, right? Because it's open source. You are able to have 2,000, 3,000 rupees ka smartphone because operating system is free.
Linux for that.
If Windows had built the operating system for phones, what would have happened? You would have bought phone for 3,000, another 5,000 you would have paid for Windows for that operating system, right? So removing middleman always works for the favor of the user, right? So Bitcoin has done these two things, right? It has, in the money, it has removed middleman, right? In Web 2.0, the problem was there are a few gatekeepers. In Web 3.0, what you can do is you can do what you could do in Web 1.0. You can consume information. You could do what you can do in Web 2.0, that is create information. Also, along with all this, you can also own part of the network. When I transact in Bitcoin, if I own some Bitcoin, I'm owning the network also. When I'm transacting Ethereum, I also own a part of the Ethereum network, right? This Ethereum network is not owned by any Jamindar or any company or any government. It's for people. It's like a public property. Okay. So why? So I have talked about two big things: evolution of money, evolution of internet. Why this is so important? What has changed from Web 2.0 and 3.0? If you look at it, in Web 2.0, the fundamental is what? HTTP, TCP/IP. This is the protocol with which internet is running. But small application that's running on above it is Google or Facebook, right? Big thing is the internet. Application is very small. लेकिन सारा डेटा application के पास रहता है, protocol में नहीं रहता है. So the protocol is of less value. The guy who created this protocol, he's like $50 million net worth. But the applications, they're all trillions of dollars. Zuckerberg is a billionaire. Larry Page is a billionaire. Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. Now, in Web 3.0 and cryptocurrency, they're taking this data and putting it back in the protocol layer. So instead of investing in the application, you can invest in the protocol itself, which is fundamental. So this is
how will that just a second, because it's getting too technical. So I just wanted to know, how will that make my life easier? Because my data is anyway going to the protocol now. So some kind of hand holding, or rather paywall would be there, right?
No, see, what is happening is you are not revealing all the data, right? You will only reveal what is necessary data, right? If I'm putting my picture into the blockchain, I'll also encrypt it and give only password to Rohit, because Rohit needs access. Other people doesn't need access, right? You can give permission to access. Now also that's what is happening. If I'm sending message in Facebook to you, only you and me are seeing. Apart from that, Facebook is also seeing. We are just removing the Facebook part. The privacy still remains. Right? It will all be encrypted, but this is possible. Or what will happen is they can see from which address to which address it's going, but they cannot relate where is Arjun, where is Rohit. For law
One
enforcement,
thing,
data will be there.
Arjun, I want to bring up one more thing here, because we are talking about data privacy and how only certain people you would give access to about your money, about your data. But creating a parallel coin system, parallel economic system, wouldn't it hamper what exactly is happening in the real world?
See, technology, है ना, technology, it keeps growing, right? It keeps evolving. It creates products, right? Then the regulation goes behind it and creates walls around it, how it should be used, where it should be used, right? Look at internet. If you look at internet, how it's permissionless, right? And how telephone or post office was very
Right,
permissioned systems, right? So, and we cannot say internet is bad for us, right? Kind of economy is growth. Like I'm able to sit here and order food from my phone. It's all possible made by internet. It did not worry about what was the existing system regulations. If you go to Dubai or someplace, still even now WhatsApp calling is banned because they're saying the existing telecom operator will get affected, right? But how will that work in today's world? I mean, you are
true.
like reducing the efficiency of existing system because the other players are getting affected. So we need to see how the technology is changing and change the changing times, right? See, so far I have talked about technical details, right? Let's forget all these things because like consumer, he uses WhatsApp, he doesn't understand how the protocol underlying works and all those things. Like
Right,
like no one cares about it. In the simplest terms, if you look at Bitcoin, first thing, it almost looks like money, like a US dollar or rupee, right? A lot of companies like Microsoft, Wikipedia, they all accept Bitcoin, and you can pay it in Bitcoin, right? The second thing is not just money, it's also the payment infrastructure, like a Visa or MasterCard, right? Here, dollar is separate, rupee is separate, Visa is separate. We see as two different entities. In Bitcoin, they are the same network, right? And the third thing, right? It's almost like gold.
basically it's a global currency, same for all.
It's a global currency, common currency, same for all, and also it's the payment network, right? You look at it as like IMPS is separate, UPI is separate, rupee is separate, right? Here is the same thing. So there's like some confusion, right? You call the network also as Bitcoin, the currency also as Bitcoin. Okay. The
Right,
third thing is when they created this currency, they realized for something to have value, it should be in limited quantity. Gold has value because it's limited. All the gold that is there in the earth, okay, it is created in like billions of years ago in some supernova, some star, this thing. No new gold is created. Whatever existing gold, we are mining it. That is why last 3000 years gold has consistently had high value. If you look at
right.
rupee or dollar, what has happened is they have printed a lot of money, right? 20 years back, if you take 10,000 rupees, no, sorry, 100 rupees, what all you could buy with 100 rupees? Maybe you can even buy some land, right? Today with
Yes,
100 rupees,
corner of the world.
what you could buy? The assets have not changed. The quality of land or gold has not changed. It is the purchasing power of rupee has decreased, right? Because of, that's what we call inflation. So if you take 10,000 rupees and bury it in ground, it keeps on decreasing in value. Gold, it doesn't happen, right? So similarly, Bitcoin, they thought it should be limited in supply, so they kept the cap as 21 million. There cannot be one extra Bitcoin printed over and above that, right? See, basically, these are standards that have been created. जिसको use करना चाहिए, they will use it. The Bitcoin is not
So
being shoved up on our throat that you have
so
to use it.
who made this 21 million or billion, whatever, Bitcoin? Who controls it? Whose idea was it initially?
Okay, so there was this person called Satoshi Nakamoto. So in 2009, he creates this, right? He launches a white paper. Why can't we have a peer-to-peer? Just like how email is there for data, we should have something for money, and it could be Bitcoin. So he floats this idea as a white paper, and within 3 months, he launched this software also. So after that, in 2 3 years, Satoshi Nakamoto has become anonymous, right? He doesn't even want to take the credit for. See, if he's alive today, na, he will get Nobel Prize, or if he reveals his name, he will get a Nobel Prize because it's such an innovation. The biggest people in the world, like from Zuckerberg to Elon Musk to Jack Dorsey, everyone is so fascinated about this technology. And look at it from 2009, whatever software he has created, it is still working today with very minimal changes. You cannot say the same thing about Facebook. In 2005, what was the Facebook? And today, what is Facebook? They keep updating
Right.
the software, things they keep changing. But something that was created so long ago and it's working so efficiently, right? Without a lot of intervention. That's an amazing beauty, right? We have to really respect that. We all the Bitcoiners, they love Satoshi Nakamoto like anything, because he has created a product and given it to the community, right? He didn't make it for own benefit. He has given it to the community. And you asked who will fix the supply, how it should be produced. So it's all mathematics. In 2009 itself, they have all created, right? Every 10 minutes, 50 Bitcoins has to be produced, right? After 4 years, the emission will become 25. After 4 years, it will become 12.5, right? How a block should be produced. Everything is governed by mathematics, right? There's no one person sitting. It's not like a corporate chairman saying, today we'll increase the supply, tomorrow we'll decrease the supply, we'll create demand. Nothing like that. Everything is fixed by mathematics. So they're
So
saying,
can we, because just to break it down, can we say that the number of bitcoins are limited or are completely governed? So that's why the value is likely to increase rather than decrease, right?
yes, yes. See, as long as there is demand, right? As long as the adoption increases, like look at Bitcoin, right? 10 years back, no one knew about Bitcoin. 5 years back, some people knew about Bitcoin. 2, 3 years back, government started doing regulations about Bitcoin. Japan was the first country to create comprehensive regulation around it. Australia, South Korea has followed. In Europe, a lot of countries have regulated it. Right? In US, there are a lot of listed companies in some states like New York. They have given license to Bitcoin companies to operate. Right? So governments have started recognizing in last 2 to 3 years, and now in India we can also expect a regulation to come in next 6 months. We'll definitely talk more about this later, but I'm saying as adoption grows, see, if you look at supply and demand, say normally how is price determined? Supply and demand. Okay, so you look at oil. When the demand went to $150 per oil, right, the huge increase in crude oil prices, what happened was people started mining even from deep sea, even from otherwise mines which are unprofitable. They started mining from there, right? Because it is like at $150 this all becomes feasible, right? So the supply increases with increase in prices. But with respect to Bitcoin, no matter what is the price, this thing is constant,
Supply
right?
will remain the same.
Constant. So every 10 minutes, now for the next 3 years, it will be 6.25 Bitcoins that will be produced. New Bitcoins that is being produced. These are earned by the miners, and not one Bitcoin more or one Bitcoin less can be produced. So it's all governed by mathematics, right? See, I mean, thoda technical jayenge to there is this fiscal deficit and all, right? Government says we should not spend more than this, but every year they spend more than that. There's always a deficit between what they earn and how much they budget, because in certain places, somewhere we need to do this kind of discipline. Even within our personal life, we create a budget, we find it very difficult to stay within the budget. But with respect to Bitcoin, the beauty is mathematics. You cannot cheat mathematics. 1 plus 1 is always equal to 2.
So you can't
So
raise the value or decrease the value. Like a human intervention can't increase or decrease the value of
the
the
supply
Bitcoin.
value, it can increase, but supply cannot be changed. Supply
Right,
is
value,
constant.
of course. That is what I mean. Acha, apart from that, so far, what I have understood is that it's a parallel economic chain in a way, and it's controlled by certain mathematics, certain formula. So value and supply ka ratio will remain more or less the same over a period of time,
No, value
and
का value तो बढ़ते जा रहा है. It has not remained same. Supply has supply will keep on be decreasing every 4 years, right? But as adoption grows, demand is keep on growing. That is why every 3 4 years you see a huge jump in Bitcoin prices. See, having said all this, I'm not saying Bitcoin is a very safe 100% increase होगा. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, because this is definitely a risk. What is the risk? If you ask me,
no,
anything in the
before getting to risk, I want to ask a very fundamental question. Like, how do you get into Bitcoin purchasing?
So, say I run a cryptocurrency exchange, geotest.com, right? Our fundamental, the goal of the organization is to help people buy Bitcoins. So, they need to register with our website. They need to complete the KYC. We ask for the PAN card. We ask for another ID proof. It could be Aadhaar, voter ID, passport, right? Once they give the ID proof, we verify it. We approve the account. After that, they can transfer money and purchase Bitcoin. We are more like a marketplace, right? We allow
So,
buyers and sellers to meet.
you are doing what stockbrokers used to do
Yes.
or used to do for money, right?
Yes, for equity, right? If you want to buy a Infosys share, you go to Zerodha and put a buy order, right? Someone
Correct.
that put a sell order, it's matching. You get Zerodha, so sorry, you get Infosys share. the other person gets money, and that's how stock market work. We do the same thing for 120 cryptocurrencies, right? So far I was talking only about Bitcoin. When thought,
So
okay,
can
I
you,
can.
no. I again have a question. So you are doing it for 120 cryptocurrency. So your company bought these 120 cryptocurrency initially, and then you are distributing it into the market, right?
No, not necessarily. So we are a marketplace, like I said, right? See, we also do this proprietary stuff, like where we buy, sell, and do these things. But our primary business is we are a exchange, like a market, right? We create a what to say a platform where sellers can come and sell. Look at Amazon, right? If you have something that you want to sell, you go and become a seller, right? When
Right.
someone wants to buy, they become a buyer, right? When the guy who has bought it, he wants to sell it again, right? He becomes a seller, and there's a buyer. So we have more than 6 lakh customers, right? On a day-to-day basis, some people, okay, the price is increasing, let me buy. Some people think. Some people saying, okay, it has increased, let me sell and make profit. Some people are thinking, right? At any point of time, this is how trading is working, right? So same thing like Infosys, how we are able to buy from a third party through zero. We are more like Zerodha or a national stock exchange, right? We help buyers and sellers connect.
Right. So you are for the time being doing it for 6 lakh people, and the more like if more people want to join, they can.
Yes, yes, they can.
Okay. So suppose I have certain amount of money that I want to invest in cryptocurrency. What should be the first things that I do? Like, should I go to Geotas or companies like Geotas, or I can also do it independently, the way people do it in shares?
See, no one does it independently in shares, right? So what you're saying is different, right? There are mutual funds and stocks, right? But people who want to purchase stocks, they cannot go to the street and say, I need the Infosys stock. They go to an exchange or a brokerage. For example, they use Upstocks, Grow, Zerodha, ICICI
Right.
Direct. We are something like that platform. If someone wants to buy Bitcoin, they come register in the site, right? We take their ID, we verify it, and we allow them to create a buy order. When the price is good, whatever they are saying is like meaningful, someone sells it to them. They can also see at what price sellers are selling, they can also buy it from them. So this is what we are doing. We are a platform.
Right. I get it. So you were explaining the process. So what happens here onwards?
See, the first and foremost thing, even before you do this first investment, you should understand what you are investing in. Okay, the risk associated with it, and what you should and what you should not do. सबसे पहले ये चीज आता है, right? First thing, understand it's extremely risky. There's a lot of volatility, right? If you look
So
at
again,
share.
this is like a contradictory statement. You on one hand are saying that the value is likely to go up, and mostly it goes up. Now, what is the risk then?
See, any new technology, right? It takes some time to maturity. If you look at companies, then it will be a startup, right? Then they get Series A venture capital funding. They slowly grow. Then they get into IPO stage. Then they become small cap, mid cap. Then you become a large company like Reliance. You take any large company, this is how their path has been, right? In India, every month, if 100 companies are being created in startup, 90% will fail, right? This is almost like cinema industry. If there are like 2 3 heroes coming every month, if all of them become big heroes, then there'll be too many big heroes, too much crowd. So some of them have to go out of the industry. That is the natural law, right? So but someone who has stayed there for like 10 20 years, like say Shah Rukh Khan or like Akshay Kumar, they will stay for much longer. They are like mature, they have created the base and everything. But if you are investing in some upcoming actor, right, he has just given 2 or 3 hit movies, the potential is there, right? But either he becomes an Amitabh Bachchan or some short-lived hero. So this kind of thing only, right? Bitcoin is there for 10 years. We are talking about a lot of new disruptions that are happening, right? But if Bitcoin will be the digital currency for the future, right? We are saying it can replace gold. We can see it can become the global currency. We can say we are saying it will replace Visa, Mastercard kind of systems. Even if one of these things happen, it will become a huge company, right? Yeah, the valuation will be very high. But there are also chances that some of them don't happen, right? The adoption, like the regulations are still coming. There are so many unknowns, right? How will companies adopt Bitcoin? How will governments adopt Bitcoin? Right? How will it coexist? See, look at in 2003, 2004, I was talking about how social media and all started coming. At that point of time, people could realize social media is future. So Google bought Orkut. There was Hi-Fi, MySpace. Then Facebook was also there. Now today Facebook is the biggest winner, right? But
Get
it was
yeah.
extremely risky. Like, when did they go to IPO? At that point of time, there were 100 companies creating social media companies, right? But one of them will win, right? Only after they kind of win, they become mature, the volatility reduces. Even now you see Facebook 20 to 30 percentage crashed, like last week, right? So the risk is always there when there is high growth, right? Zyada ऊपर नीचे जाता है. If you look at ITC share, right, it has been a strong company, long company, so the volatility is very less because people know what it does and how much it will do, right? This may see, if you look at the graph, if I change 1 degree here, from here it goes to here. This is like there is a plane in Chennai, right? It's going towards Delhi. In Chennai itself, I change it by 1 degree. 1 degree is what you cannot even measure. Like it's very
Ah.
small, but it goes
Then
to
it won't
Lucknow.
land in Delhi. It will land somewhere else.
Lucknow it goes, right? In the starting stages of something, 1 degree this side or this side deviation creates a huge impact in the long term, right? See, any company, how do you value? You don't value it based on the past, right? A company बहुत अच्छा किया है पहले. It's always about the future. For example, Zomato, Paytm and all, they are loss making companies. Why do people invest in that? I mean, why should people invest in a loss making company? Because they are thinking in future the industry will
You
grow
will
to this
start.
much. They'll start making profits, right? So this kind of future ke upar hi people invest. They don't invest in Yahoo. Yahoo was number one search engine, or Kodak was the biggest camera this thing in the world. Nokia was one of the highest manufacturing highest phone manufacturer in the world, right? But they didn't have a future because they didn't launch Android at that right point of time, right? So it's always about the future potential people are investing, and in future में ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है because we are predicting, we are forecasting, राइट? सब कुछ लोग जो सोचते हैं बहुत अच्छा चलेगा, सो दे ऑल कीप बाइंग. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं ये नहीं चलेगा, लेट मी सेल इट, राइट? एंड सडनली ये बिलीफ भी चेंज होते रहता है, राइट? इफ गवर्नमेंट अनाउंसेस समथिंग, अभी तो ये नहीं चलेगा, पीपल ट्राई टू सेल इट. इफ गवर्नमेंट अनाउंसेस, इलॉन मस्क टॉक्स अबाउट इट, ओके इलॉन मस्क की बात कर रहा है इस चीज के ऊपर, दैट मींस समथिंग इज गोइंग टू हैपन, कुछ तो होने वाला है, सो दे गो एंड बाय इट. सो ये सब फ्लक्चुएशन ज्यादा होता है. नाउ रिलायंस का न्यूज आता है, मार्केट इतना मूव नहीं करता है क्योंकि रिलायंस तो इट्स लाइक, we know it's 100% success, right? The extra benefit is going to be 1 or 2 percentage, right? So when volatility is there, you can definitely make 10x or 100x returns, but with that also comes the risk. You are also going to make a loss
Right.
because we are in the very early stage. ये
It's
बच्चा
it's
है.
like it's like the stock market only. Like when to buy and when to sell. You have to be very good with the strategy. Like you have to be patient and you have to wait for a longer period to understand
Correct.
to gauge the difference in values.
Another acha example I'll give is like there is a kid who is like sixth standard or seventh standard, is doing very well in mathematics, okay, very well in science. So you think now you are going to bet on what is going to be the income in when he is 30, right? There is a long time to go. Like he can go to college and get corrupted by his friends, he can start drinking, smoking, like कुछ भी हो सकता है. Like बीच में काफी time है ना, इसमें इसके बीच में कुछ, like some other student will come who will do much better than him, right? How do we predict? Now you know that the potential is very high. If it is your kid, you'll say this guy to कुछ तो करेगा, like he has extreme potential, I believe in it. So we are like that people, we believe strongly in Bitcoin, right? But that doesn't mean I'll sell my house and put everything here because there are risks. So like there are people who will say I will give you guaranteed 10% returns, guaranteed 15% returns. ये सब बकवास है. Anything above 6 or 7%, there's no guarantee. If you're going into stock, if you want 6%, you put it in a FD, you get that money back, right? If you want 8-10%, you put it in a mutual fund. With mutual fund, it depends on market performance. It goes up, you get more money. When it goes down, you get less money. Only when you are willing to take that risk, extra risk, right, you also get an extra return. Without risk, there's no this thing. Otherwise, why will people be stupid and put it in FD and in bank this
Right,
thing, right?
right.
Right. So whenever you are like looking, you want more than 8% returns, understand that you are taking a risk, right? If you want more than that, you want 50% returns, 30% returns, your risk is even higher. So the chances of losing that money is also very high. So in life may, without like everyone what they want is, I don't want to take risk, but the 30% returns though
Profit
I
should
need.
be there.
So that is why people go and invest in very wrong places, right? There are people who will give you false promise, right? I'll say there are some crypto companies who will say, "Arey, 100% ho jayega, I'll guarantee you," right? I will guarantee you. Like markets, me, there's no guarantee. right? ऊपर नीचे जा सकता है. So first of all, you should think carefully. This money I'm going to invest, even if it goes to zero, my life should not get affected because I am taking a risk here. I am expecting 20x 30x returns, or like say 30% returns, which is very high compared to what market is giving now. That means I'm taking a risk. So if you learn more about Bitcoin, right, you will also know more why it should succeed, right? It's like almost studying a balance sheet of a company, right? Like Zomato को काफी लोग invest किया है IPO में. I don't know how many people went through the entire prospectus, right? People who read the prospectus completely and invest, they know why they are investing, how much they are investing, and all those things. For them, risk is slightly less. Risk is basically what you don't know is risk.
Right.
What you cannot forecast is risk, right? But with knowledge, you can forecast a little bit more. But even with the extreme knowledge, you cannot forecast 100%, right? So these are the things I'll say. First, understand the risk, invest what you can lose, right? Don't take loan and invest. Don't use your credit card to invest, right? If you have some money that you have kept in 6 months for surgery, or in 2 years you want to get a kid to get educated, right? Don't put that kind of money into this, right? In overall portfolio, if you are investing 100 rupees, 5 rupees you can invest in crypto. If it becomes zero, what happens? You still have 95 rupees, right? You don't become extremely poor. But if this 5 rupees becomes 50 rupees, your wealth has grown by 50%. You have like 145 rupees now, right? That is how you should look at this sector. It's extremely risk. There's a lot of potential. It's almost like investing in internet companies in 2000s, right? We should read about dot-com boom and dot-com bust. Like, we only know the winners of the whole game. We talk about Microsoft, we talk about Amazon, right? There are hundreds of failures which miss our eyes. So, but if you want, if you give me time machine, I'll go to 2000. I'll invest only in companies like Amazon or Google only, right? Given the opportunity, right? So you should always understand there is a lot of risk when there's a lot of potential. Okay, there's a lot of confusion. See, once everyone knows Bitcoin is safe, you will be getting 8 to 10% returns only. You will not be getting this much returns. When there is a risk only, itna returns. Because what will happen when we know 100% Bitcoin is going to succeed? Let's say US government and Indian government regulate, they start announcing
Then
Bitcoin.
everybody investing in the same thing.
All the billionaires will put their money in it. It will rise cheaply and then it becomes constant, right? Because when every people take the same opportunity, like it's like if you grow, let's say rice, you get 100 rupees per kg, right? What happens? Everyone starts going rice. Then what happens? The price crashes, right? The yield reduces, right? So that's what will happen. So only if there is risk, like a lot of people don't believe in Bitcoin, a lot of people believe in Bitcoin. There's a difference. You're also having that risk. If these people become right, Bitcoin goes to zero. If these people become right, Bitcoin goes to $1 million. We are always fighting between these two. This is how the price is being decided. That's why the risk is there, right? Now,
Oh,
after understanding all this, if you are agreed to invest in Bitcoin, right, I again say don't put all your money in lump sum. Put it like a SIP, because there's volatility. So this week you buy something, next week you buy a little bit more, in next month you buy a little bit more, because once you put the first money for the first time, you also start understanding the markets. Okay, like till that one time you don't put any money. Now if you even invest 100 rupees, it's okay. If you don't invest that, you'll be looking from outside, you'll not put that much interest into the space. But once you start putting 100 rupees into the market, you start observing, okay, these things are happening, that thing is happening, right? So you then, the longer you spend time in the market, the more you understand, okay, how much volatile, how much risk you are taking, what are the currencies, right? Another big mistake all the people that they do is they go for this Dogecoin, Shiba, right? This should not be your first investment. If I'm saying Bitcoin is very volatile, this is very, very volatile, right? And they have like very little fundamentals. They can go 100x or they can go to zero in a quick time.
so Doji coin is also another name for a separate Bitcoin.
See, Bitcoin, there's only one Bitcoin. Okay. So what has happened is, like, we call everything as Xerox, right? But Xerox is basically one particular company which manufactured a photocopy machine, right? Nowadays we have Canon, HP. These are the guys who are creating printers and everything, but we call everything as Xerox. That's how it has happened to this thing also. Bitcoin is just one. When I spoke about all the advantages of how Bitcoin does this, how Bitcoin does that, right? People say, okay, if it could do this for payment system, why can't we take this idea and do it for entire internet? Right? In internet, there are so many applications. Like I said, Visa, Mastercard, to Bitcoin can disrupt, but Facebook, Twitter, ko kaun disrupt karega? Right? For that, lot of cryptocurrency started coming. Right? Ethereum is one. Ethereum is like a Google Play Store. You can create applications on top of this. Right? They'll use Ethereum infrastructure and run. A very simple example that I normally give is, if you say Uber, what does it do? It takes the nearest rider and connects it to the nearest driver. Simple logic. For this
Right.
logic, they charge 35%. If you pay 300 rupees to your driver, only 195 rupees goes to the driver's pocket, 105 rupees goes to the Uber pocket. This logic, if you can put it on Ethereum blockchain, right? I have to give only 220 rupees to the driver. Driver gets 30 rupees more. I pay 80 rupees less. They'll be happy. So everywhere there is middleman, we can remove the middleman and put that thing on the Ethereum, right? So similar to Ethereum, there are a lot of other platforms also. Their competition came, right? You have Solana, Luna, Binance Chain, Tron, right? There are multiple options. So just like how in stock market there are like different sectors, you have cement sector, there are IT majors, there are chemical companies. Here also there are a lot of sectors, right? Bitcoin and all tries to be a currency. So they are similar to Bitcoin. You have Litecoin, Monero, Zcash, Dash, right? Similar to Ethereum, like I already said, there are so many smart contract platforms, right? Then there are decentralized exchanges, exactly like what I do, right? There are some companies which do on the blockchain itself. You can give one token and take another token. You can give Ethereum and get Matic. You can give Matic, take Link, right? You don't need a matchmaking. If both of them are agreeing on the price, the match can happen automatically without a middleman taking a commission, right? So a lot of applications are there, and that is where meme coins also come into picture. Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Saitama, Floki Inu, right? SafeMoon. These are some of the coins that are available in Geotas exchange, right? These are extremely volatile. These were created for fun, right? Basically, you can create a tipping system, right? You are seeing someone doing very good meme in Twitter, right? You can pay them 2 Dogecoins, 3 Dogecoins, right? Because people created it just for fun. They didn't think it will have so much value, right? Unlike stocks, here there is no cash flow, right? If you look at Facebook, you can say, okay, this quarter they earned so much profit. Okay, this is the revenue, and this profit is growing so much, revenue is growing so much. So this should be the value of the company. This is overvalued, undervalued. ऐसा करके valuation exercise कर सकते हैं. लेकिन here in crypto, there's no cash flow. It's almost like gold. Gold was expensive when it was 1,000 rupees per kg. Gold is expensive when it is 3,000 rupees per gram, right? There is no fundamental way to say gold or ऊपर जाएगा or नीचे जाएगा. Only demand and supply is determining all these facts. The same thing applies for all the cryptocurrencies, right? You can only look at how much adoption is happening, right? You can say, okay, Doge का इतना adoption है, Shiba का इतना adoption है, लेकिन pricing में इतना difference है, market cap में. So maybe I'll buy this because it looks cheaper. ऐसा करके you can compare and do this, but there's no way to say this is very overvalued because कुछ भी जा सकता है and कुछ नीचे भी जा सकता है. So you're taking extremely risk. So when I said in 100 rupees, you're investing 5 rupees in cryptocurrencies, I'll say in that 5 rupees, put 2.5 rupees or 2 rupees in Bitcoin. Put another 1.5 rupees in Ethereum. Another 20 percentage you can invest in this L1, other promising cryptocurrencies, like 5 rupees. Out of 5 rupees, I'll say put 50 paise in meme coins. Because if the meme coins goes to zero, you will be still have 4.5 rupees intact. Right? The same logic. Say diversification works everywhere. Right? You take low risk for a large part of your portfolio, take high risk for small part of the portfolio. Within crypto also do the same thing. Take safe investments like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin has been there for 10 years. Ethereum has been there for 5 years. So the thing is, because Bitcoin has become so famous, we call everything as Bitcoins. But actually, everything is called cryptocurrencies. Only Bitcoin is called Bitcoin. If you say what is the price of Bitcoin, it's 33 lakh rupees. Right? What is the price of Ethereum? It will be like 2-3 lakh rupees. Right? So everything is separate. Together, we call everything as cryptocurrencies. Individually, each coin has a name.
Right, right. So you have talked about the possibilities, then you have also talked about the risks involved and how much profit can you make through it. That brings me to the point of government putting a tax cap of 30% to it. So basically, with that, if you're investing 100 rupees, so you will have to make more than 30% on that investment to get above that 30% market cap, tax ban cap,
No,
right?
no. See, they are saying 30% tax on the profits, right?
Right.
If you invest 100 rupees and make 20 rupees profit, right? For the 20 rupees, you'll pay 30% tax, which is 6.66. Remaining 13.34 rupees is your profit, right?
Is your
You're still
profit.
making profit. Yeah, you don't have to pay for 100 rupees investment, you make 20 rupees. You don't have to pay 30 rupees tax. That's not how it works. But again, this is very high, right? Normally, how it was happening so far is someone is less than 2.5 lakh slab income, the total income is less than 2.5 lakh, they said they don't have to pay tax because that's how income tax laws were working, right? Above 2.5 there is like above 5 lakhs I think it's 10 percentage, about this thing it's 20, and about 10 lakhs it's 30 percentage. That's how it's the current structure is, right? So this is how people are also paying tax on the crypto profits. Now they are saying almost consider it like a lottery income, right? So even if your net earning is only 50,000, you have no other income. For the 50,000, you have to pay 30% tax. See, this is very high. But if you look at how crypto community has reacted, they reacted very happy. Everyone is so surprised outside. Like, I mean, these people are like so
Why?
crazy. They're like pagal hai. Like this government is saying 30% tax and everyone is celebrating. Right? If you come walking with some injuries, right? You say you got injured, we will be like, oh my god, what happened? If I just see you getting into a very big accident, right? But you come with like small injuries, I'll say, oh, thank God, you're safe. So that is how it has happened. For like 2-3 years, government has always been talking about ban, like we'll
Banning,
ban this,
yeah.
ban that, and all those things. Like people were very nervous, very frightened. At one point of time, like they'd also not don't want to miss out the opportunities here. There is a lot of wealth creation that has happened, right? People have made a lot of money here. Look at where Bitcoin price was in 2017 or in 2018 also when RBI came up with the circular, and today where the prices are, right? So people don't want to miss out on the opportunity. At the same time, they're also afraid, agar government ban kar diya to kya hoga, right? Now there is some clarity. In the last 6 months to 8 months, you can see government slowly changing the stance. They're saying they'll go in the middle path. They will not take extreme decision. They have not said they will not ban it, but they have said everything almost like they are going to regulate it. That is what the inclination has been. And now they have included it in the taxation, and they've also said in income tax form that we fill there will be separate column for cryptocurrencies. So more or less it looks like government has decided to regulate it.
Regulated.
But in the meanwhile, since they get clarity, they have put an extremely high amount of tax, right? They also said 1% TDS has to be levied. I think how normally this works is government says announces something, then we as an industry and we as crypto investor community, we represent our request to the government. Say, sir, this is very high, right? If you look at TDS, I do trading a lot. So in 300 trades, my entire capital is locked up. I know this TDS is something that I get back. I have to pay tax only on the profit, but if my whole capital is locked for next 10 months, how will I trade? So government's objective is also two things. One is not allow too much of speculation. At the same time, also collect tax revenue, right? See, in another 5 to 10 years, the petrol income is going to become zero because we are all moving towards electric. Government needs more tax bases. When people are happy to pay taxes, right, you have to work towards increasing the overall contribution. If you make more people wealthy, there will be more tax that will be paid, right? So government, I think, will take a rational step over a period, right? They will reduce this taxation. At some point of time they will treat it on par with stocks. In stocks also people are taking extreme risk. If you look at Paytm prices or any small stock prices, there have been extreme this thing. When people take that risk, they have this advantage of long term capital gains, short term capital gains, right? They can set off that with something else, so they can carry forward the losses. Such advantages have not been given to crypto, right? But I think it's a good start the way government is going. They are moving the right direction of regulating it. Once they regulate it, I think they will soften the stance a little by little. See, our hope is mostly on the crypto potential is extremely enormous. In 2017 when we started geotest, with what hope did we start geotest? We know crypto potential is amazing, it's inevitable. The world is going to follow crypto. At that point of time, every government has to follow that path, right? We cannot stay separately, right? Like everyone is regulating crypto, we alone have banned crypto. It will not look nice. So we had that belief on crypto from then on. That is the reason why we invested so much of our time, money in creating this exchange, fostering this community. So this hope is still there. The hope is even higher now. With, you see the kind of adoption that's happened in US, all the banks have started offering cryptocurrency products. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, a lot of big institutions, they are getting into the crypto field, like Fidelity, right? So I think the way forward is only upwards, right? For the crypto community in general, the regulation will only get softer from here. So that is the idea, Rohit.
Uh, um, Thank you for all these insights, Arjun. And before we wrap this up, how do you see the future of crypto in India in next 2 years?
See, India has got the right foundation. We are the information technology capital of the world. Now I'm saying internet is getting disrupted. You will remove all the things like Facebook, Twitter, and all those where middlemen play a strong role. We replace it with decentralized solutions. Now, if you open your phone, you look at all the apps that you have downloaded. How many apps are made by Indian companies or made in India? Very few. It will be one or two. Maybe it will be the media, the local companies listing. Internet apps as such, we are not having any. Now, because in 1990s, India didn't have any internet. So we also couldn't create internet companies. Now we have the talent pool, we have the internet, right? And internet is getting rebuilt. Now this is the time to grab the opportunity, right? With you need there's a lot of talent that's required in the blockchain, in the crypto world, to create new protocols, create new products, right? We can create products that the world uses. For that, government needs to create a conducive environment, right? The tax treatment should be at par with the global countries. If Singapore is giving zero capital gains, if Thailand is giving 15% capital gains tax on crypto, Dubai is also giving 0% capital gains. People will, all the wealth creation will move outside India. There will be a brain drain. On the other hand, you create incentive schemes like how you have a PLI for manufacturing, because this is also a big industry that's a booming industry, right? So far in 1 hour of interview, I have not spoken about metaverse, right? That itself I can talk for 2 hours. There's so much potential in metaverse, right? This is an horizontal technology, just like how electricity, whatever it touched, it kind of revolutionized. It changed the way we live, right? Internet, whatever it has touched, it has changed, right? The way we order food, order clothes, where we,
Everything
the way
else.
we travel, everything has changed. So these are called horizontal innovations. Crypto could be that, and metaverse is actually bigger than that, right? The shopping is going to be in metaverse. The future of social media is metaverse. The avatars, we are going to be, so see, simplest example of metaverse is we are living in a two-dimensional social media. You just scroll through in Facebook.
It would be multi-dimensional once
Yes,
metaverse
I
rise.
can just jump to a Mars. Why should I just look at screen? Should change. Just screen should not change. The environment should change. I'll be living in different virtual reality. For all that, crypto is a key role. That is the reason government is also think of regulating, because there's promise, right? So, so such a promising thing, government should find how to create next set of unicorns here. How do we help people embrace this crypto revolution? How do we create the tech talent? How do we help the companies? How do we help in investments into the space and grab hold of this opportunity? And we can become the next big power in the world, right? That's how I see the future of crypto, right? Crypto's future is great. I think India should take advantage of this particular sector, and we should become the monopoly. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Arjun, for all these insights. Of course, the time is not enough for such talks, and I wanted this to continue forever. But because there are so much insights and such value addition to how we can be into crypto business and all that, so maybe we will connect again with another similar talk about the next stage of cryptocurrency. Once you started buying, what do you need to do now?
Sure.
So maybe we will connect for that. But for the time being, thank you so much for your time, Arjun.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I enjoyed the event. Thank you.